Hello, I'm Yondon Latu at the South China Morning Post. Denial is the way we handle what we cannot handle, the old saying goes, and that pretty much sums up the official attitude towards racism in this city. Did you know that no one has been prosecuted under the Race Discrimination Ordinance over an entire decade since the law was enacted to ensure that people of different races are treated equally in Hong Kong? Not a single prosecution. Yet barely anyone batted an eyelid at the revelation by Constitutional Affairs Minister Patrick Nip in a written response to a lawmaker's question last week. As to whether the administration had an explanation for such an astonishing track record, this was Nip's jaw-dropping reply. As a victim may make a civil claim in the court directly against the wrongdoer, the government does not normally know about the case unless it is reported by the media or the government is named as a respondent. The government also does not hold records on the total number of such claims. In other words, the government doesn't give a damn because as far as it's concerned, racism is not a prevalent or serious problem in Hong Kong. That's what it told the UN Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination last year, prompting the body to ask for proof to back up the claim, given all the evidence to the contrary and the utter lack of statistical or other records. The committee was understandably concerned by reports from Hong Kong of negative portrayals and hostile statements in traditional and social media targeting ethnic minorities, in particular South Asians, by inflammatory public statements made against them, and by reports that commensurate action is not consistently taken by the authorities in response to acts of hate speech. The Equal Opportunities Commission may have handled hundreds of complaints of discrimination, but there hasn't been a single successful claim against racial vilification. The one application for legal aid that the watchdog received on such grounds in 2011 was rejected due to insufficient evidence. So there you have it. Make no mistake, racism is alive and kicking all across this city on a daily basis, from street-level bigotry, taxi drivers refusing to pick up passengers over the color of their skin, to institutionalized prejudice, employers rejecting job seekers from ethnic minority groups based on the preconceived notion that they are only suitable for menial labor. Just because Hong Kong does not have the equivalent of skinheads assaulting immigrants on the streets or neo-Nazis burning down synagogues does not mean we don't have a racism problem. And while talking about denial, can we also get over silly semantics that enable this city to gloss over its often appalling treatment of migrants and visitors from mainland China? A selectively rigid interpretation of the term racial means it does not apply to the behavioral dynamics between Hong Kongers and mainlanders, because one group of Chinese people cannot be racist against another. Officially, the discrimination that mainlanders face here is of a social rather than racial nature, completely ignoring the fact that many Hong Kongers, to all intents and purposes, consider themselves to be a breed superior to their mainland compatriots and treat them accordingly. That's why under the Race Discrimination Ordinance at least, it's apparently okay to shout hostile slogans and hurl abuse at people from across the border because such abhorrent conduct cannot be categorized as racist. Doing the same to South Asians is not okay under the same law, but so what? It's never been used to prosecute anyone anyway. Let's all just bury our heads in the sand together. And on that positive note, thanks for reading, clicking, and watching. I appreciate your support and enjoy all the feedback, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here's wishing all of you a very happy and prosperous Year of the Pig. Kung Hei Fat Choi.